Fake news has been a growing problem for quite some time now. Now, the mainstream media, BBC, ITV, Sky News, they have a bias. They have a very clear bias towards the establishment, towards conservatives. You can argue whether that's a good or bad thing. Personally, I would be more accepting if they were just honest. It's not difficult. Hey, this is where we stand. We have the conservative mentality. But that's irrelevant. When it comes to mainstream media, they deal a lot in half-truths. So the recent report on Saudi Arabia murdering innocent school children on their return home from a school picnic, that was well reported. But what was left out was that the bombs Saudi Arabia used were bought from Theresa May's husband's company. Philip May makes money on children being slaughtered. Theresa May dropped the bombs in Syria, and Philip May made a profit of that, somewhere between £4 and £6 million. But that's not something that mainstream media report on, because that's something that goes against the establishment. Fake news kicks it up to a whole new level, and it can be very difficult to see what is actually fake news. But it seems to be at least one story a week I can pick out and say that is 100% fake. This week, for instance, it was a story of a woman giving birth. Now, it was a picture of her newborn baby, and the story that came with it was she had given birth early at 37 weeks. Okay, I have no reason to doubt that. Hope the kid's healthy, looks healthy enough, long life to you. But the story that came with it is Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton want to push back the limit of abortion to 37 weeks. Because as far as they're concerned, this is not a baby. And obviously the picture to show that it's a healthy baby. Now, this is fake, but it would only be caught up on people who actually support Bernie Sanders. Now, I am not a fan of Hillary Clinton in the slightest. I think she's a deplorable human being. But I would be shocked to my core, having followed the US election very closely, if she had ever said anything like that in her career. Now, I know that she's an awful human being because she willingly defended a rapist, knowing that he was guilty and knowing that the trial she was involved in would destroy a young woman's entire life. And she laughed about it. So I have no love for Hillary Clinton. But as I said, I would be shocked if that was actually one of her policies ever. And it sure as hell isn't a policy of Bernie Sanders, but it is fake news from the right. Something that there will be a running theme of in this video. Another story, one from a couple of months ago, more local. It was a video of a group of guys in a cemetery destroying gravestones. And the story that came with it was this group of Muslims are destroying British soldiers' graves while the police just stand by and do nothing. Well, if you watch that video, alarm bells should ring, because these guys who are in a cemetery destroying graves all have assault rifles. We do not have assault rifles in the UK, and if you're caught with them, you sure as hell better believe the police will not just stand by and do nothing. As underfunded as they are right now, they will not let that go down. Little bit of digging into this, and it turns out that that video was actually 10 years old and was shot in Libya. Those graves were not the graves of British soldiers, but it was a right-wing lie to push forward a view of hate, of mistrust. Go back to last year. A photo was circulating on Facebook. A white guy, prison outfit, and the story that came with it. This brave man defended his sister, who had been attacked and almost raped by a Muslim. And while he was arrested, the Muslim walked free. Now, I didn't actually have to do a lot of fact checking with this. I knew the guy's face immediately. It was Brock Turner. For everyone that doesn't know, Brock Turner is the piece of shit who went to a party in America, found an unconscious girl and decided that he was going to rape her. This man got 3 months in prison while she had her life destroyed, to the point where her and her entire family had to leave the area. But he only got 3 months. This man did not defend anyone. There was no attacking Muslim. But it is a right-wing lie. And that leads me into Alex Jones. Now, Alex Jones is not someone that I was going to cover because enough people have already covered this. But with Facebook seemingly clamping down, I think it becomes relevant. Alex Jones called out for help from the right. Now, Alex Jones did not get taken down because of free speech issues. First off, if you use a private company's servers, it's not a free speech issue. You agree to their terms and conditions, or you don't use their service. He breached terms and conditions. He should have been taken down a long time ago, but that's something that's coming a little later. Initially, he would put forward things, little white lies, as all fake news starts, of the government is putting chemicals in the water to turn frogs gay. A ridiculous story, but you know what? If you believe that, fine, just don't work in a school. If you like to listen to that, to relax, more power to you. Put your feet up, have a brew, chill out, and listen to the crazy people. But that's not where Alex Jones stopped. Alex Jones called for the attack of innocent people. Now, Pizzagate was not his invention. Pizzagate was the initial invention of Mike Savage. I don't think I'm saying that last name right at all. Side note, this is also the guy who got James Gunn fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is pretty disgusting when you actually go into who this person is. So James Gunn lost his job because of old tweets that Disney already knew about, but those tweets were dark humour. Crappy jokes, but they were meant as jokes. Mike here has said many times, in all seriousness, that he doesn't believe in rape. He doesn't think it happens, and that every woman who accuses a man of rape is lying. That seems to be who Disney is bending down to. But back to Pizzagate. For everyone that doesn't know, Mike came out with this conspiracy theory that the Democrats had a paedophilic sex trafficking ring out of one particular pizza shop. Alex Jones caught hold of that and encouraged his demented listeners to go and take physical action against them, which one did because one guy turned up and shot up the place. That's unacceptable. The Sandy Hook massacre was devastating, it was heartbreaking. And yet Alex Jones came out saying that it was a false flag operation. So all of those people were actors, and that children hadn't been murdered by a crazed gunman. Didn't stop there though. He carried on that notion, and he pushed forward people to take actual physical violence against families who had already lost their children. One family has had to move 6 times, and every time that they move, someone posts up their street address, so they have to move again. And Alex Jones constantly pushes forward this notion of no, they were lying, they were faking it, go and attack them. It's even got to the point where during this whole being shut down, he's now arguing, or his lawyers are now arguing in courts to release the full details of every one of the Sandy Hook survivors, if you will, that have sued him, for all of their details to be released, their full addresses, knowing damn well that his demented, batshit crazy followers will physically attack them, if not kill them. That is fake news at its worst, because it inspires violence against innocent people. Alex Jones wasn't taken down because of free speech issues. He was taken down because he incites violence on private platforms. That's not protected speech. If you don't abide by YouTube's terms and conditions, they have every right to take you down because it's their channel, it's their website, it's their domain. Same for Facebook, same for Twitter, although Twitter doesn't really delete people for that. They seem to be a lot more on the fence about things like that. But even hosting a website, if you start a website and you use a server, well, you don't own that server, so the host can delete your website, which again is what happened to Alex Jones. The right seem to be freaking out about this because they know they are lying. They know that they are inspiring and advocating for attacks on innocent people. And that's why they are condemning these actions against Alex Jones. That's why there's so much worry and fuss going around social media saying, oh, we don't know if we're going to get deleted. Doesn't really work that way. And unless you're spreading fake news, it's not an issue. But I think now more than ever, it's important to recognize what is fake and what is not. So when a story comes up on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on anything that you follow, and you know it's fake, to call it out to be fake. When a story comes up and it doesn't seem 100% legitimate, there's nothing wrong with asking for more information about this or doing a little bit of digging. And now it's more important than ever. Facebook does seem to be cracking down, although I think they have a long way to go for this. But it's not the end of the battle. As people, we deserve not to be lied to. If you want to go and indulge in fantasies, then go for it. But fantasies end at news channels. They end at political commentary. It's not fake news to report the truth, unlike what Donald Trump would say. But it is fake news to make up BS stories knowing full well that it will trick people into believing something that just isn't true.